What's going on, everybody? I'm Cade Morehouse with the Combat Lounge and Cade Side Press. Today, I am joined by two savages, Archie King Colgan and Justin the Highlight Gaethje. Archie fights on June 16th against Emmanuel Sanchez, and Justin just got a fight announced July 29th at UFC 291 against Dustin the Diamond Poirier. How are we doing?
Good. Doing good.
Just got done resting. I'm exhausted.
Me too.
How was
terrible.
practice?
Terrible.
It's a little bit easier for me than him, I'm 27.
This asshole. How old are you?
I'm turning 24 on the 30th.
Oh my God. Well, this piece of crap. Last week at wrestling, he shows up 10 a.m. He's like, "Hey man, is it different coming in here at 34 than it is at 27?" And I was like, "Fuck you, dude."
I gotta try to play those mental
Screw
games.
you.
I gotta try to play those mental games before practice starts,
You'll find out, you asshole. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 4 years old, dude. We've been here for 30 years doing the same thing.
Archie, I'm gonna start with you, man. You got a baby on the way. You're in fight camp.
Okay.
Bless you, man. Taking care of your family, and you have a lot of family things going on. How is the family? How is camp going?
Camp's been great. I never really got, even the opportunity to get out of shape. I fought on Friday, and by Monday they had called me and asked me if I wanted to get this fight. So I'm in honestly probably the best shape I've ever been in, which is great for me. Family, my wife she's just ready to be done. She's super uncomfortable, super pregnant. She's, I joke with her, because she's always like mad that she's big, and I just call her solid. But like she's just big and uncomfortable. She's just ready to be done.
We're both solid.
Yeah. And then within the next week, baby will be done. Baby will be here.
Yeah, man. Bless you again, man. Like, that's a true inspiration right there to go take care of your family and have all that going on. Justin, I'm gonna get to you. Congrats on your victory against Rafael Fiziev, man. I gotta ask you, after the first round, what adjustments did you go back to the corner and kind of make? Because you completely took that fight over, and it was a dominant victory, and it really was.
I think the main goal going in there, the main game plan was to make him miss. I think the more I was going to make him miss, the more tired he was going to be. He's so explosive. He doesn't throw in ones and twos. He throws in like threes, fours, fives. And so that takes a lot of energy. And the more he's kind of winging past you, the more energy it takes to get back into a position. And so I think it was just kind of staying, the game plan was to make him miss, stay like 3 or 4 inches farther away than I normally would. And then eventually I've no matter who I've ever fought, I've always eventually touched him with something and caused massive amounts of damage. So I knew that eventually I would touch him and I would find my shots. But early on it was just make this kid miss. He's so fast, explosive, confident. So I really had to pick away at all that stuff.
Yeah, man, it was an impressive victory. I gotta ask you, you've always said if it's not the real one, I don't want a belt. I don't care. I just want the real one. How did this fight come together with Dustin Poirier for the BMF championship, and how do you feel about fighting for that championship?
Yeah, so initially they called me and they said, "Hey, you want to fight, Poirier on July 29th, 5 rounds?" And I was like, "Fuck that. I don't want to fight for 5 rounds if I don't have to. There's no reason for me. I get paid the same no matter what. And so I'd rather fight 3 rounds. I'd rather fight in Boston, August 19th. It gives me 3 more weeks to get ready. But I was totally in on. I just wasn't, I think you get 25,000 extra for a main event. And I was like, screw that. So they came back and they were like, what about for this belt? We came to terms on payments, on what I'd be comfortable making. And honestly, my true assessment, like when Masvidal and Diaz fought for it, I was like, this is stupid. And I still think it's kind of stupid. However, to the fans that say it's stupid, I say that it's ultimately the UFC giving one more fighter, one more opportunity to win and to gain an opportunity to get pay-per-view points. This belt, just like interim belts, on paper are a championship you are a champion in the eyes of the UFC, and when you are a champion in the eyes of the UFC, you get paid different. And so, to the people that say it's stupid, I say it's the UFC literally throwing a bone, and we always ask them to throw a bone, and they never do. And so I'm thankful that that it is an opportunity that I get to fight for, especially there's only one in the world. I think that's pretty cool. It's a cool looking belt. I think it's a little bit of a show, but ultimately I gotta say, I think it's the UFC throwing a bone, and I gotta be thankful for that.
Well, if anyone deserves to fight for the BMF championship, it is yourself.
And
But
Poirier,
and
dude's a
Poirier,
dog.
both of you guys, you guys are two of the most exciting fighters, if not the most exciting fighters in the game. Now, you guys fought once, tough fight, but I feel like you're a much different fighter this time around. How do you think that this fight goes the second time around? You seem a lot more calm and composed and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, I mean, since that fight, I certainly have grown, what am I, 5 years older, so I was probably 29 years old. Yeah, I mean, a lot of big fights in between that day and today, and the day that I'll fight him. I am human and I am susceptible to make mistakes. I think I made a huge mistake in the Oliveira fight. I became super emotional, and I think that's one thing that I will not allow to happen in this fight. And I think it's going to be, somewhat of a chess match ultimately, but with both of us trying to create damage at all times. I mean, 5 rounds, we gotta fight. Obviously, you gotta fight smart. Championship fight, first one to make mistakes, usually loses. And so ultimately I have to be perfect. I have to fight a dog. The guy's a veteran, he's been there for so long. And I'm gonna have to use my athleticism, my reaction skills, my intuition to ultimately cause more damage. Hopefully knock him out like he knocked me out or TKO'd me back in 2018.
Yeah, I want to get to a guy that means a lot to both of you. I know especially to you, Justin, but to both of you, and you guys can both answer this question. We've seen all these super gyms, where they have multiple fighters and everything like that. Trevor's done a lot of things differently. He's focused his energy on a select few fighters. Do you think that's helped him become one of the best, if not the best, MMA coach in the game?
Yeah, I think it's just the spotlight is different, like whenever he's done it both ways. He had a huge gym. He had multiple athletes fighting in the UFC. He was gone every weekend. But ultimately you get caught up, and there's too much, especially, I mean, he's got 3 people fighting at the highest level, and what he's doing outside of this, all of our training equipment is handmade. Every single training session, wrestling today, he's sitting in there watching. He's never missed, he doesn't miss one of my training sessions. He takes notes on every single training session. What he does with those, God only knows. I have no idea. I'm sure he's creating a plan, and ultimately I put that into fruition on July 29th, but I don't ask questions. But yeah, the one-on-one time that we get is unique, and his brain works in wonderful ways.
Yeah, he is a genius for sure. Both of you guys wrestled, or still wrestle, and you're very good at it. Do you think that wrestling is the best base to have in MMA?
I do, 100%.
I don't. I think what these Russians are doing is better. I think it's wrestling with submissions from a young age,
The Sambo?
and I think that translates over better. It takes a while to learn to go to your back intuitively when you're a wrestler your whole life, and that's something that can get you in trouble in this game. So I think that small adjustment of being in Sambo is an aggressive sport with the submissions, and I think that's a better fit for this. But ultimately, I think wrestling is. They both, I think, create the person that you have to be to be confident in there, ultimately. So I think they're both great things. I think Sambo is just a little bit better.
Yeah, I kind of figured your answer was going to be that, Justin, because how many times have we seen you actually go to the ground in your fights? You do nothing but create violence with your hands.
Yeah, I mean, in wrestling my whole life, I never found a comfortable position being passive. And in Sambo, I can only imagine that there's got to be seconds at least in where that is a advantage. So I don't know. Who knows? Honestly.
I'm gonna get to a guy that you guys both hold dearly. What can you guys say about Ali and how he's helped you guys throughout your career and what he kind of means to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been with Ali for a long time. I mean, the guy is extremely busy. He's got so many athletes, and whenever you don't have a fight, obviously you're not at the forefront. But the man is the best manager, on the market. I think when I'd say a year ago, he had different management. And I told him, I was like, you're not gonna fight one more time, you're not gonna sign another contract until you sign with Ali, and I think as your friend, I think I have to do this for you. Kamaru was on the same page, and I believe that no fighter is gonna make as much as they would and get the opportunities that they would with Ali. And I think that's what you should expect out of your manager.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Well,
Ali does amazing things.
He just made the transition. Have you noticed the difference?
Yeah, I think I agree with Justin. I think that Ali he has like a lot of pull in with these organizations. So and he's in with these guys, So I mean it just goes to show, like I don't know who in Bellator had or it was as active as I was this last year. I signed with Bellator in July of 22. And then coming up in June of 23, this will be my fourth fight. From July to July, I've had 4 fights with Bellator. I don't think game buzz and
making 5 times as much money.
Yeah. So I think
man, I think Ali's done great things for this sport, man, and he has a roster of great fighters.
You can call him a snake, and he's a manager. He's my snake in your grass. So
I've never once said he's a snake. I've seen people say it. I don't really care.
Of course, if a manager's not being called a snake, they're not doing their job. His job is to piss people off and fight for us. At the end of the day, he has to fight. And the man fights for us. And I can't ask him. I want him to give me more sponsors, but shit. Outside that, he's so busy. The man is busy.
Yeah, man, I agree. He, like I said, he has a roster of great fighters. He's done great things for the sport, and you're absolutely right. He wouldn't be doing his job if he wasn't a snake.
Yeah.
Archie, back to you. How did your time in Eagle FC help you grow as a fighter and a competitor?
I mean, like I was just telling you, off air, the fight that I had in Eagle FC was probably my toughest fight to date. His name was Montello. He's from that Longo gym, another guy that I fought from there, and he was a tough competitor. I don't know exactly what happened to Eagle, or if they're just tied up and they can't fight in the States right now, or what. But the time that I had there was great. They had a great show. It was great production and promotion on their behalf. But yeah, I'm happy that it fed me right into Bellator, and now it's growing here.
Yeah, man. I wanted to ask that question because I just recently started following your career, and I'm like, this dude's getting better and better and better. But Justin, I've followed your career for a long time, and I feel like I've watched all the interviews that media members do with you, and I've never heard this question. How much, and I know you hold them so dearly to you and they mean so much to you. How much has your mom and dad motivated you and helped you throughout your career to stay focused and do what you do?
Yeah, I mean, they're the number one supporters, they've been to every single fight except the Tony Ferguson and the Khabib fight. But ultimately what got me here is the sacrifices that they made when I was young. They put themselves into serious debt, giving me opportunities to go around, wrestle, make it to college, put themselves in major debt my first year of college, paying it off. And ultimately my want to pay them back is a big driving, factor for, I bought them a fifth wheel. Got my dad a truck, all these things are, superficial, but they make the sacrifices that they made to get me here, worth it. So yeah, I mean, the more win or lose, they're there. They got the same face. They're nervous as hell. And yeah, they're unconditionally loving, and they've never put a condition on that. So, that's one thing that we need as athletes. He's got it in a wife and his parents, and we all need that support system. So yeah, they're number one.
You come from 3 generations of copper miners, correct? Copper miners.
Yep.
Yeah. How did you get away from that and go down a different career path?
Well, I worked there so I graduated high school, and I was going to college up in Greeley, Colorado, and I graduated May of 2007, and I was leaving in August of 2007, and so I went to the mine. I worked for 3 months straight. I worked 7 days a week, worked 12 hours a day. It was an hour back and forth, so I got paid 14 hours a day. So I worked 7 14s for like 65 days straight, and I was like, I'm never. I'm gonna try whatever I can to not come back here and do it. And that was a special job. Obviously, the job's not that bad. You're not gonna work every single day. My brother and my dad didn't work every day. And I have nothing bad to say about that life. I mean, it's my brother bought and sold 3 houses, and I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment on the floor. The stability that life brings out of high school is perfect for pretty much anybody. If you're willing to work and willing to provide, and you want to provide for your family. But yeah, I mean, I had a couple guys when I was in there. They're like, "You'll be right back here. You're gonna fail out of college. You'll be right back here." And I was like, "There's no way. There's no way that I'm coming. I'm gonna make it work." And so I don't remember those guys' names, and I don't hold a grudge against them. I want to thank them for inspiring me not to keep pushing. And
Light
so
a
I don't know.
fire.
I don't know how I didn't end up back there. I'm not sure why I'm here. I've just continued to show up every day and work. And so I think that's probably part of the equation, part of the formula.
I want to get to a guy that both of you can answer this question. How has Kamaru Usman helped you guys with his mindset? He's got one of the best minds in the game, strongest mindsets you can possibly have as a human being, at least I feel like. And he's one of the greatest champions to ever do this. How has he helped you guys get better, and what does he mean to you guys?
Well, for me, before I ever met him, he was like one of my favorite fighters, with African ties, former wrestler, being so successful in fighting. He was like one of my favorite fighters. And then, we were here at a wrestling practice one day, and he walked in. I was like, oh shit. That's Kamaru Usman. I was like, oh shit, I'm about to have to wrestle this guy. But and then we forged a really good relationship, friendship and teammate. And he's like, just watching him work for me has been really beneficial, just because I can see kind of how somebody of his stature in his position of fighting operates. When we're all tired, I can kind of see how he plugs and plays with his head, so he can operate in the right mind space, whether it's a sparring session or a wrestling go or striking or mitts or whatever it is. Like, for me, it's just cool to see somebody in that position. Same what it is with Justin, honestly, just to be there, and like, it's no longer a fly on the wall. I'm working on the job with them, and just kind of seeing how they operate. So when the position comes and the time comes for me, when I'm in that position, like, I'll be steps ahead because I've already had seen how I need to operate in these roles.
I think it just adds to the atmosphere. I mean, him, myself, Archie, like, the lives that we lived are so similar. Growing up wrestling, growing up wrestling through college, through high school. The paths are so similar, and so we get together and we just push each other that much more, because we know it's a bit of a better reminder on what we used to push ourselves through, and so I think that adds to that atmosphere. He don't want to lose to me, I don't want to lose to him. It adds more of a competitive nature to the room, and ultimately that makes us all better. The first thing I realized, so 2008. they brought George St. Pierre, Cowboy Cerrone, Keith Jardine, Shane Carwin, Cub Swanson into my wrestling room, and I was like, these are some normal people. And that's the first thing that these guys realize is that we're not special in any like mythical sense. It's just hard work. And for some reason, some of us make it and some of us don't. I don't have an answer to that right now, but ultimately it doesn't matter. We're all from somewhere. We all came from somewhere. And these guys get the confidence to see that he's as normal as any one of us. And we just gotta keep working and keep working harder. And ultimately things either are gonna work out for you or not, but you have to trust in the process, and he adds to the process.
I have a couple more questions. We're gonna get you guys out of here. We're gonna hop over to golf. Are you the best golfer in your family, or is that your pops?
Well, he's a 20 handicap and I'm a 12, so I'm better than him. However, with those strokes, it's very, very hard to beat him.
I watch your videos on YouTube with DC. I know he likes to think he's the better golfer than you, man, and he likes to, talk that talk. Is DC the better golfer than Justin Gaethje? Or is that all smoke?
The only time you're gonna get DC to admit that he's a worse golfer than me is when you get him to admit that he fucking used a towel to make weight.
Okay. Shots fired.
He's already made a joke about it when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think it was. So it's fair game now. He's done.
When you go hunting, what is your favorite type of hunting, animal-wise?
Mine is gonna be a Coues white-tailed deer in southeastern Arizona, where I grew up. You're spotting these things from so far away with these huge binoculars, half mile away. You got to make a shot over a canyon. They taste delicious. They're really small, but they taste delicious. That's my favorite kind of hunting. I don't think Archie's ever hunted.
I've been a couple of times. I've never been big game like that.
You got to take him, Justin.
Hunting. But fishing's kind of hunting. Isn't it? You're hunting a fish. I go fishing. How about that?
Like fishing too. All right, I'm going to fire off these questions and then we'll wrap it up. Will Archie Colgan be a top 5 Bellator ranked fighter early next year?
Yes.
Next year.
Early next year in first quarter or what? If the opportunity season,
I'll give you the middle, because I know you got a fight coming up, and I don't know if you'll fight before the end of the year again, but middle of next year.
He can be if he wants to be, and if that's where
it's gonna be hard because the lightweight tournament's going on. So all the people in that top blank, top 10, 8,
that's right,
are all tied up in the tournament. So that'd be hard to say.
Archie's gonna be a champion, and there's no rush.
He is gonna be a champion. My question for you now, Justin: will Justin Gaethje by the middle of next year have gold around his waist, the real one?
I am working and dedicating everything that I possibly can in my life to make that happen. If that's in the plans, then I will. I guarantee that I will work hard enough to make that happen. We play a crazy game, and so I like to live in reality, and there's no guarantee of anything, but that's my plan, and I will do anything and everything possible to make it happen.
Favorite post-fight meal?
Wings.
Sugar.
Favorite place to visit?
It used to be my parents' house. They sold it. They got a new house. I used to love going back. That was my childhood house. I used to love going to that house.
Place to visit? Golf course.
Favorite sport?
Wrestling, MMA. MMA now was wrestling.
Golf.
Favorite
this guy
teams?
does watch golf, bro. This guy for real watches golf.
Hey, I watch it too sometimes with my dad.
Dude, you go to sleep, you sit down, you take a nap for 3 hours, you wake up, they're on 16. It's perfect.
Favorite sports teams?
I'm old. Raiders.
Favorite sports teams?
Raiders, and I guess I'm gonna go with Nuggets.
Yeah, I guess.
And I guess I'm gonna go with Rockies. They kind of both bought me over since I've been here for so long, but I'll never cheer for the Broncos.
I'm not the biggest sports team guy, like football, basketball. I would just say Broncos.
The Broncos.
I'm from Denver.
They sell. Let's bet $100 each game
What?
this year.
They
This
haven't
is
beat
like
the
him.
Raiders in 3 years.
I've been sweet. So I take any and all bets, $100 a game. I got like 19 2 years ago. I got like 17 last year.
And your stickers are still on that hat. You just bought it. Your tag's still hanging on there.
Well, this
Let's
is
go,
dating
Raider
back to
Nation,
Christmas.
baby.
All righty, guys. Well, thank you for your time. I look forward to both of you being back in the octagon. It's going to be violence. It's going to be fun. I can't wait personally.
Archie's on pace to break my record. 24 wins, 19 knockouts,
I'm 6 for 7.
6 for 7 right now. I was
Thank-
7 for 7. No, I was 6 for 7.
Were you?
So
Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. It's my pleasure to interview both of you guys. And like I said, I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
all right, dude.
All right,
Have a good
appreciate
day.
it, bro.
You too.